So I wanted to make a pretty provocative statement at the risk of maybe going a little bit over the edge, and feel free to not comment directly on this, but to me, it's we talked about in health equity, population health transformation, you have to have that workforce that reflects the population that's being served. The outcomes are simply better. It's irrefutable based on research. And there's been a recent Supreme Court ruling against affirmative action. Here in the state, we've seen some controversy around diversity and equity and inclusion in higher education. I'm not going to ask you to respond to any of that directly, but my question is, in higher education, given the challenges societally that we have, politically, how do you create the environment to really bring about the best learning experience for underserved learner populations, so we can have that diversity in the workforce to address disparities with minoritized populations? Does anyone want to tackle that?
And I will stay away from diversity and inclusion for obvious reasons. But I think we're fortunate in the Rio Grande Valley because of the makeup and composition of our population down here. For us, it's an automatic diversity and inclusion strategy, right? We're a majority Hispanic down here. We have so much talent to draw from. What we have to do is create opportunity so that those folks feel comfortable, compelled, excited, engaged, to want to take advantage of the opportunities course-wise that we offer, likewise with our colleges, likewise with any other entity, public schools, high schools, etc. But I do think we're very fortunate in that regard, if you just understand the composition and makeup of our population down here.
Does anybody in the audience have any question related to that? If you want to line up, one on the right, one on the left. We are approaching the time, so I'll let the panelists add some comments to this question, but please line up if you have any questions.
And I think one of the other areas too, and just to keep it short too as well, is the wraparound support services. Really, our individuals, especially when they're coming into higher education or any of these areas for the first time, a lot of times we have first generation, first degree individuals coming into our schools. There are a lot of wraparound services that are needed. This could be financial support, well-connected, something we have for mental health support, even teaching, test-taking strategies, test-taking skills, but really going into those avenues and finding out what is the reason, like going to, just to be on healthcare, going into a clinical setting. Do they even have the money for gas? Is that something we can provide? Is that something we can support? I think that's something you have to look in as well. It's not necessarily coming into the program, and I do believe coming in, we need that holistic, you're coming in, this is our community, and I agree. We have a lot of that just because of the community in which we're serving. However, with that then, there usually are other things that are needed, that other financial, emotional, providing mentor, having that mentorship, ensuring that our faculty looks like the students that they're serving, because all of that, we all know in the research, will lead to a better outcome for our students and better chance for them to actually achieve their dream and graduate.
I totally agree. I believe very strongly that you can be it if you can see it. And one of the wonderful things about working at a university is that it's the United Nations, okay? So you will see professors from every country, many languages, a lot of different thoughts. That's all great when you're a young person and you're forming your opinions and you're learning. And I think that we've got, you go to the medical school and the faculty are going to look like the students. When they go work in the clinics or they go work, we have area health education clinics, and they actually, get their education there. And when they're in the mobile vans, I see Linda here, and Linda ran our mobile vans that would go out into the colonias, and when they go out in the community, the student looks like the people, like their grandmother that they're helping to take care of. So that is what we need. That's what's going to make our students stay also. I think it's when they actually have that rich experience in working with people that they feel very comfortable with, and that the patient feels very comfortable with the provider as well.
Okay, audience, any questions? Judge Cortez, you want to wrap up with this question? Any views on diversity, inclusion, mental health, any of the topics you've spoken so far?
Well, first of all, thank you, Rod, for inviting me here. I think this is a great conference. conference to learn from one another and to bring us together to help solve the problems that we have. I know I sounded maybe a little negative in some of the things, but I was bringing attention to the obstacles that we need to overcome to be successful. But we have many assets also. We have many things to be very proud of. And if I were a young man and I wanted to go to an area to find opportunity, I would come to the Rio Grande Valley, because here's going to be the opportunity to the future. I think we have a perfect storm here. We have the perfect people in education, perfect people in politics, perfect people in business, that we're going to make things happen. I want you all to encourage you that if you can help in the Prosperity Task Force in any way, please do so. I think we have a good system in place, and I think the system will work. We're not going to help everybody that's in poverty, but if we can help some, that's success. So I welcome you to call and join the team. We need mentors, counselors. We need financial people to help us research and sometimes find the necessary funds to be able to transition a person from one another. We need information on the type of jobs that are happening somewhere else. Maybe we can bring them or recruit them here. All the help that we can get can only help. Thank you.
Thank you all the panelists for your time. Thank you, Eric, for the moderation. Thank you all. Next up, Evan, I invite you back on the stage to complete the tabletops.
Greetings and welcome, everyone. Today we are diving into